The key to success in business is to be micro impatient and macro patient. So when I talk about the compounding effect and I talk about long term and the ability to do the work and not need the results tomorrow, that's the macro patient. But what gets lost a lot, I think, is the micro impatient. So once you figure out what your daily activities need to be, what the things you need to work on this week, this day, this quarter, this month, whatever the case may be, you have to be very micro impatient on that daily basis.
Good day, our amazing listeners, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Sphere Rocket Podcast Network, your go to destination in exclusive conversations with the top tier real estate professionals. I am your host, Sweet, and today we have a very special guest with us. He is a talented real estate agent and a broker from EXP Realty in New Jersey with years of experience and deep passion for helping people find their dream homes. And our guest is here to share valuable insights and tips about the real estate market. So please welcome to the show, Jeff Bonk.
Hey,
Hi,
sweet.
Jeff.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to have you here in the podcast. It was really excited to learn more about you and, of course, your business. And but before we officially start, I just want to ask you, like, what is your go-to beverage after a long day of like showing houses to people or talking to our clients?
Yeah, well, I mean, depends on what day of the week it is and what I have going on the next day. But if it's a weekday and we got a busy day the next day, it's a nice flavored seltzer, black cherry or something like that. But if it's weekend, it might be a Negroni or a nice IPA, something like that, depending on what we have the next day going on.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing stuff. And yeah, so Jeff, so you're the team leader of HBB Group. So how long have you been in the industry, and what sparked interest in you, or what was your inspiration in starting your business in the real estate?
Absolutely. So I've been in the real estate industry for about 12 years now. Before that, I was in finance. Not many people, only the smart people get right into real estate right out of college or high school, right? Everyone else, it seems to be a second career. And there was always this like interest I had my entire life in real estate, in entrepreneurship. And when I was in finance, the company I was working for was downsizing. All the younger guys that were the traders got laid off. I was one of those people. While I was looking for a new job in finance, I got my real estate license because it was an interest I always had. And I had a buddy said, why don't you get your license while you're looking for a new seat and you're looking for a new job in the finance world? And I got into the industry, looked around, and I said, there's a ton of opportunity here. This might be that vehicle that I've always been looking for to build that business, to scratch the entrepreneurial bug. I met my wife the first day that I started selling real estate as well. She worked in the office that I worked in. So we very quickly became close and started building a business together. The thing that really got me motivated was the ability to like be in a sales role, an entrepreneurial role, but not really be salesy. I really love the fact that you were helping people, guiding people through a process of finding a new home, an exciting time, without having to sell them any particular one thing other than your service and why you're the right person to help them on that process. So we saw a lot of opportunity to build an organization, a lot of people that were doing well without taking it very seriously in this industry, in my opinion. So we said, if we really wanted to build something special here, I think this is a industry and a segment of the world that we could do that in. And it really sparked a fire in us. And 12 years later, here we are.
Yeah, it sounds like you really are enjoying your time with the real estate industry. And as you said, it's really like just having that passion and service to people, and not like really like to take it like super salesy or something like that. So what would you consider as your superpower or your business superpower?
Yeah, I think it's not a incredibly sexy one. It's the ability to look long term and build strong relationships. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, have a very short sighted view on building a business, on having a career, And early on in the business, I saw that if you could build long-term relationships and have a long view and do the work that needs to be done today, every day, over and over and over, but look for results to come in a compounding way and not look needing results tomorrow, you can literally outwork and outperform anybody if you keep that perspective. Very early on in my real estate career, we were working with Remax, and my broker at the time, who now, funny enough, is full circle on our team and came out of retirement to do some projects with us now. He made me he very strongly encouraged me to go to a Remax conference in Las Vegas, and one of the keynote speakers was Darren Hardy, and Darren Hardy gave us a talk about the compound effect, the book that he had just maybe written a year or two before, and I read that book, and it like absolutely resonated with me. And I saw this chart he showed where it looks like you're doing all this work, you're doing all this work, nothing's happening, and all of a sudden everything compounds and boom, it goes to the moon, right? The hockey stick effect is also called. And that really became, I think, my superpower, was the ability to do that and continue to stay focused and motivated long term to build relationships, not chase the next transaction, but chase the next relationship that we can build. And that's what I try to preach to our agents now, and really keep everybody focused on the long game, because otherwise it's a short-lived career and it's not sustainable.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Really building relationship will take you to places, and yeah, like what you said, really compounding results. And yeah, I'm so amazed with how you, like, really do your daily life, and to reach that certain goal of yours. And yeah, and as a visionary, as yourself as well, really looking at the big picture rather than just short-sighted one. So, what do you think is the best advice that you could give our audience who also wants to experience that compounding, result? What are like the daily habits that you can do, or you personally do, in order to have that result?
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's a hard answer to say what are your daily habits, because I think it depends on what phase of business you're in, what you're doing, what you're trying to build, where you are. Like right now, my daily habits will look nothing like a person who's just getting onto our team, right? Our my daily habits are, we're working on finding synergies, finding mergers and acquisitions between teams and other small teams. We're actually, my buddy and I are merging our teams together to be able to create such a platform that's going to be able to service every agent, every small team, every struggling team, every mid-sized team, by building a platform they can plug into and really grow exponentially, right? So my daily habits are much different. So I think the first key is figuring out what your daily habits need to be. Like, where are you in the business? What do you need to do today to get yourself to the goal that you ultimately want to get to? There's another great book, and I forget the author. It's called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And it's essentially talking about, like, even though you did something that worked really well for the last 2 years to get you to this place in your career, you may not have to do those same exact things to get you to that next place. So reassessing your habits and always thinking about what your activities on a daily basis should be is extremely important, and not just being completely blind. I think that's where having coaching, having mentorship, having things of people who can see around corners for you and help you figure out when you do need to pivot those daily activities. That's the first key to that. The second key in my mind is something that I once heard Gary Vaynerchuk say, probably 5 or 10 years ago. He said, the key to success in business is to be micro impatient and macro patient. So when I talk about the compounding effect, and I talk about long term and the ability to do the work and not need the results tomorrow, that's the macro patient. But what gets lost a lot, I think, is the micro impatient. So once you figure out what your daily activities need to be, what the things you need to work on this week, this day, this quarter, this month, whatever the case may be, you have to be very micro impatient on that daily basis, to not say, well, it's a long term thing. It's a long term, I'm patient long term, so I don't need to be very disciplined today. No, you have to disconnect those things. Today, you have to be impatient. You have to get the things done you need to get done, but you need the results to be macro. You need the results to be more patient. And I think that's something that gets convoluted a lot, where it's, well, I either need to be very impatient and get everything done today, and I need results today, or, oh, no, it's long term, no big deal. We don't need to, like, no, you have to separate those things and really be able to live in two different mindsets when you think about today and the results.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I've learned a lot that about that, and for sure our listeners as well are learning a lot. And yeah, just like what you've said, it's really like wherever you are, like what's the level of you are in the business or what you're pursuing and what are your goals are. So when you were still starting, maybe we have listeners right now who are starting a business or wanting to start a real estate business like yourself. What was like the your motivation at that time or the habits that really led you to where you are right now?
Yeah. So I think the motivation was this idea around the discipline equals freedom, right? The discipline to do the work now and get busy and really get intentional about what you're doing equals freedom long term, equals the ability to have more choices long term. So it's along the lines of choose your hard, right? You can choose a hard day today of hard work, or you can choose a hard day of regret down the road. So like the motivation has always been the ability to have control, have options, have flexibility and freedom. Right. So that's the thing that lights me up. Like when I first got into business, we didn't have kids yet, but now we have two young boys who are 5 and 7. And it's kind of crazy to say, but like 10, 12 years ago, I was thinking about the 5 and 7-year-old boys today. And if I did the work 10, 12 years ago, what kind of options and things would I be able to do when I have those young kids? And that was always a big motivation. I'm a big family person, even before having kids, nieces and nephews, and just the way I was brought up. So like that was my motivation. I think it's key to find that motivation. When it comes to daily habits, like I think you have to have a big, strong bias towards purposeful, proactive action. I think so many of us live in this reactive world, and it's important in real estate to be reactive to a certain degree. You have to service your clients, you have to get back to them, you have to be quick to speed to lead. You have to be very, responsive in negotiations to make deals continue to go smoothly. But a lot of times, and I was victim of this multiple times in my career, and I had to course correct, we get too caught up in that. And that becomes the only focus. And that becomes the only thing we work on every day. And the thing that we need to do is we talked about identifying what your daily habits need to be and the actions need to be, and then staying micro and patient on them is that's about those proactive, purposeful actions. So that could be lead gen, that could be lead conversion, that could be meeting 5 new people at Starbucks to build relationships long term. Like what are the things that are going to drive future opportunity and future business? And they're kind of not fun a lot of times, right? These are the things that people don't love doing. These are the things that don't feel like they're immediately satisfying. Like if you can save a deal, or if you can like get back to somebody really quick that you're already engaged with, it feels so good. Like, ooh, I did something. It's a dopamine hit. But if you make 100 phone calls and you only have one good conversation, kind of feels like, damn, I spent a lot of time making 100 phone calls and only had one good conversation. Who even knows what that conversation is going to turn into? But those are the important things that you have to be able to stick to every day. So doing whatever the proactive, purposeful thing is in your life right now, be that prospecting, be that relationship building, be that working on a marketing strategy that may not really show fruit of the labor for 6 months, or it doesn't always have to be around prospecting, but it's something future focused, building focused, needs to be done every day, every week, whatever your schedule breaks out to be. Some people love a full day or 10 hours a day of that thing. Other people like 2 hours a day of it. Just make sure it's enough to create impact to the level you want it to be long term. I think that's the biggest key getting started.
Love that. It's really in the small things. That's what I'm realizing on what you were saying. And yeah, it's really about becoming more purposeful in your actions each and every day, as you said. And, sometimes it's really in the mundane
Yeah.
task
Yeah.
that you're really, the foundations that you will build in order for you to be successful. As you've said, choose your heart. You can choose to be regretful or successful in time. And yeah, I really admire your wisdom and all of the things that you're sharing to us. So when it comes to your business now, since you're a team leader, you've grown it, and of course in today's digital age, virtual assistants has becoming increasingly common.
Yeah.
So of course you're a very valuable client of Spherocket as well. So how did you find out about Spherocket or having a virtual assistant in general, and what made you decide to leverage in getting a virtual assistant?
That's a great question. So I don't actually remember how Sphere Rocket first came onto my radar, and that's I think a testament to how great the company and Justin has been at marketing because I saw it like everywhere, right? And then eventually wound up in a phone call with Justin early on. I don't even know, 5 or 6 years ago at this point. And I had hired one virtual assistant before that. And the way I got into the virtual assistant mindset was, although I'm very aggressive in certain ways that I build the business, I'm also very conservative, and I like to take baby steps in places where I'm brand new to. And I had never hired anybody. I had never trained anybody. I'd never onboarded anybody. I didn't know like exactly what role I even needed at the time. So my mindset was, well, what if I could be a little bit more flexible and not need office space for somebody, have a little bit more of an economical salary, and one that could be somebody who has some training as well in the industry. And there was another company before I met you guys, which you guys have been much better to work with. And I hired my first virtual assistant. Her name is Ira Martin, and she's literally still with us today, 10 years later. And she is the heart and soul of our organization. She runs all of our transactions. We'll do 250 plus transactions a year. And she runs all of them with a team now of other virtual assistants we've hired through you guys since. And the ability to really source talent, and like the way you guys are able to bring multiple options, train people, find people who have experience, and then also train them and onboard them properly to take a lot of that that front end work out of the process has been super powerful for us. And we call our virtual assistants our international team. Like, they are full-fledged members of the organization. They speak with clients, they engage with agents regularly. They're not just, I think a lot of people think like sometimes virtual assistants just checking like boxes sometimes, and not really understanding the robust nature of the roles that can really be handled by really high level professionals just that happen to be in another part of the world.
Love that. I can really see your nature in, the relationship building, because it transcends just, into the virtual space and internationally. And I love how you call also your virtual assistants, which is international partners.
That's right.
And yeah, and I think one of the, greatest things about being a leader as well is to being able to nurture your subordinates or your teammates. And yeah, and now that you have reached a certain level of success that you have, what do you think, Jeff, is what do you think drives you to do what you do right now beyond financial success?
For sure. And I love that question, because I think the financial success can only get you so far. If you're only driven for money, even from when you don't have a lot of it, if that's your only focus, you're going to burn out. It's not that important once you start getting it. It's not about how should I say it? It's not as rewarding as you think it's going to be. And it gives you great options. It gives you great flexibility. There's a certain level of income that I think is valuable and gives you the right lifestyle to provide for yourself, your family, whoever it may be. But after that, there needs to be something else. There needs to be something that's more exciting. And for me, that's impact on the industry. Like right now, we have a goal of creating 300 six-figure earners inside of our organization on the agent front. And right now, I personally have 10. My partner that we're merging our company with has about 40. So we have 250 to build, and we're going to do it in the next few years. And the thing that I think is the most exciting thing that wakes me up every day and gets me excited is, how can we provide impact, clarity, and direction for the real estate industry, for people that it's not an easy industry, like especially today with all the different rule changes that are coming down the pipe and all the technology and all the different, there's 5 million or 50 million leads created a year, but only 5 million real estate transactions. There's 13 different softwares for every part of the business that you can choose from. Like, these things are confusing, and people don't get into the industry to try to figure that out. A lot of times they get in because they like people, they like houses, they like flexibility in their schedule, they like the opportunity to make a lot of money and have no cap and no ceiling. Then they get in there like, oh my God, I got to figure out these 35,000 other things. And it's just completely overwhelming. So our goal, and this brings beyond financial, is to just figure out a way to build an organization that anybody, from a brand new agent, from an experienced agent that wants to do more, from an agent who's struggling, from a person who's trying to build a team that can't get over that hump of 1 or 2 agents on their team, our platform can provide guidance, direction, and leverage for any of those people. And that's what we're super passionate about building right now. We have a great foundation for it as we stand right now. And every day we just build on it, build on it, build on it. How can we make this better? How can we add this piece of value? How can we make that value even better? And then go out and market it, talk to people about it, and expose people to it, and understanding that option is there for them as well.
Love that. Really creating a space where everybody can win and helping more people. And yeah, that is so amazing. Thank you so much
Right.
for sharing that, Jeff. And yeah, if someone who is watching this right now who also wants to learn from you and possibly join your team or learn from you, how could they reach you out, or what's the best way to for them to contact you?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on all the socials, either under my name, Jeff Bonk, or the HBB group. The new organization that HBB is merging into, that's becoming the bigger platform, is called the Align Team. It spans right now from all of New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, all the way out to Chicago, down to Maryland. So we have look up the Align Team. That is the organization that's a little bit more geographically diverse. Here in Hoboken in New Jersey, it's our HBB team, is a pod within that larger organization now. Or you can get me on my cell phone or my email. We can flash it on the screen. It's jeff@homesbybonk.com. That's the HBB group, Homes by Bonk. Or a cell phone. We could drop in the show notes as well if anybody wants to just reach out and have a conversation. Be it if you're interested in joining our organization, or if you just have questions. And I have 5, 10, 15 people who I talk to on a regular basis who are not part of my organization, who just have questions. They're building something somewhere else, maybe in a slightly different industry, but I have some type of experience that can help them grow even in an adjacent world. Like it's all about impact and helping, right? It's not about the financial. The financials will come if you make enough impact on people. And I truly believe that. And that's my guiding principle right now, is just more impact, build better relationships, and financial will take care of themselves.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so those are the ways to contact Jeff and if you want to learn more from him or join his team. And yeah, but before we end this segment, let's have a quick commercial. So stay there, Jeff, because we will be having a next segment after
All
this
right.
quick commercial break.
Overwhelmed with work? Well, meet your new partner from Sphere Rocket VA. In just a click, get matched with a virtual assistant who handles all the tedious tasks. No in-person hiring, no extra office gear, just easy online help from our recruitment team. It's like having an extra pair of hands minus the hassle. So ready to relax and see your work done just like magic? Choose Sphere Rocket VA and visit us at www.sphererocketva.com.
Okay, and we're back and still here with Jeff Bonk, and it's time for our lightning round. So, Jeff, our lightning round are just quick and fun questions. So, you ready?
Yep. Let's do it.
Amazing. So, yeah, first one is, what is your favorite business book?
The Compound Effect.
Love that. And then next one is, who is your favorite influencer or coach?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I've been really into Alex Hermosi lately, I think, but like oldie but a goodie is Tony Robbins. I'm a big Tony Robbins guy. I've been following him for a long time, and I love how he continues to evolve. And now he's got a whole new coaching platform and focus of what he's doing. But his old stuff's amazing too.
Yeah, totally agree. Love Tony Robbins too. And a favorite lead generation method?
SOI, your sphere of influence, and just building deeper relationships with them. I mean, one of my best lead generation sources is my mom's cousin, who's probably almost 70, 75 now, who sends me like 3 deals a year from the other side of the country. Like, you don't know who's going to refer business to you and who's going to be your really big advocate out there.
Love that. And next is, what is your biggest goal for 2024?
Is to continue to improve the value stack and value proposition to have more impact on more people. We'll chop away at that, getting to 300 6-figure earners, and start getting people into the 7-figure earner category inside the organization.
Amazing. And lastly, what is your favorite Amazon purchase?
That's a good question. I didn't see that one coming. I mean, I look around, I think everything is from Amazon. I just bought a new golf net that's like I set up in the backyard and I can hit balls into and practice my swing. So I'd say right now that's probably my favorite Amazon purchase. Allowed me to play more golf.
Love that. Amazing, amazing stuff. And yeah, thank you so much, Jeff, for joining us today. I've learned so much from you. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you here in the podcast. But before we end, if you want to give a shout out or promote anything, I'm giving you the floor.
No, I appreciate it. This was a great time. It was great spending 30 minutes, 45 minutes with you here today and having a nice conversation. I would say I'd shout you guys out. Like, you guys do a great job. I really enjoyed working with you. You know, I built a good relationship with Justin over the years. Everywhere I go, he's doing like an event. He's on the stage. He's doing an after party. He's sharing value. He's putting out content. Like, you guys continue to do a great job. I think kind of right around what we've been talking about is building relationships. It's not always about, can we help you hire a VA? Can we help you hire a VA? It's how can we provide value to you? So when you need a virtual assistant, we're your obvious choice. So I'll give you guys the props and the shout out on this front. I appreciate the time and hope to do this again. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jeff. And yeah, it has always been a pleasure to have you here on the podcast and again learn from you. And I wish you continued success in your endeavors. And yeah, there you have it, friends. Hope you learned from this episode as much as I do. And don't forget to leave a comment and hit that subscribe button so you will never miss an episode. And again, my name is Sweet, and until next time, stay inspired and keep building those spheres of success. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
Feeling the difference with Sphere Rocket VA? Tasks are flying off your list, and there's more me time in your day. And guess what? It's all super affordable. Yes, you heard right. Our virtual assistants aren't just amazing at what they do, they're easy on your wallet too. No more stress over emails or schedules. With Sphere Rocket VA, you get your time back and keep your budget happy. Ready for simpler, affordable workdays? Head on over to www.sphererocketva.com. Join us at Sphere Rocket VA, where every day is easy and easy on your budget.